Last week, we heard the Passover story from the book of Exodus. And this week, we're still in Exodus, but a lot has happened to Moses and the Israelites since their exit from Egypt and slavery. In their escape, Pharaoh changed his mind and came after the Israelites with his army. God parted the sea, allowing the Israelites to escape, and closed it on top of the pursuing Egyptians. The challenge of life in the desert proved great, and the people complained and longed for Egypt. God provides them manna to eat and water to drink. They arrive at Mount Sinai, they agree to be God's people, and God gives them the 10 Commandments. Moses goes up and down the mountain a number of times for varying reasons, and some of those times he was gone for a while. Today's reading is one of those times. Moses has been gone for so long that the people are starting to wonder if something had happened to him. Maybe he ditched them, or maybe he died. Regardless, Moses had been their conduit for interacting with God. And without him, the people were starting to grow impatient. So they go to Moses' brother Aaron, who we learned in the previous few chapters would be the first ordained high priest of Israel. And we'll read that they ask him to make gods for us, who shall go before us. The Hebrew word that is translated as gods is Elohim. Most English versions also translate this word as gods, but it can also be translated as the singular noun, God. This possibility raises a number of different questions. Are the people asking for Aaron to create for them other gods to follow? Or are they asking for Aaron to make them a physical form of God? Previously, God has appeared to the people as a cloud and fire, as well as smoke, lightning, and thunder on Mount Sinai. But God has not been as visible since then. Are the people reflecting a deep human desire for something tangible? Aaron's response doesn't seem to imply he finds anything wrong with the request, which is interesting considering that back in chapter 20, he and all of Israel heard God say, "You shall not make for yourself an idol. You shall not bow down to them or worship them." Aaron doesn't protest or hesitate, but simply tells them to bring him the raw materials to construct the Elohim. We'll read that Aaron melts down the gold and casts it into an image of a calf. Now, why a calf? Well, in Egypt, the bull symbolized the god Apis, while in Canaan, it represented Baal. Did Aaron make a foreign god for the Israelites to follow? Or did he use a familiar symbol to make a physical representation of the Lord? Upon seeing the image, the people declare it to be your Elohim, O Israel, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt. Have they forgotten their Lord who freed them from bondage and out of Egypt? Or are they declaring this as the image of the God who delivered them? Upon hearing this, Aaron may have had a light bulb moment and become aware of his and the people's misstep. He builds an altar and declares a festival to the Lord, likely in an attempt to steer the people back to proper worship. We then jump to the top of the mountain with God and Moses, and God is aware of what's going on down the mountain and is none too happy about it. God tells Moses to take a walk while God lets loose a little wrath and consumes the people. what will Moses do? And how will God respond to Moses? And just what was the people's sin? That they fashioned and worshiped an image of a false god? Or that they wrongly fashioned and worshiped an image of the Lord God, which misrepresented whom God really is?